This is the Brothers Grin podcast. This is the Brothers Grin podcast. This is the Brothers Grin podcast. Poop on you.
We're rolling.
We're rolling. We're gonna cut that part out. I can't start it where I'm just repeating what you say. That's a really bad way.
I do that to you all the time.
It's a really bad way to start a podcast. I'm Andrew.
I'm Austin.
This is the Brothers Grin podcast. How you doing, dude?
I am good. It is almost 11:30. It's a Thursday. Class was canceled.
Yep.
Which was bullshit.
We got to the train station. We rode the train, and we got off to get on another train. And I was like, Austin, what's our class called today? And he told me, and it had been canceled, so we came all the way back here. We decided to record a podcast.
Yeah. So I got up early, and I didn't want to. Fucking spent $2.50 to ride the train for no reason. It's okay, though. I'm having fun.
I hope it sounds like we're outside because of the truck.
There's a lot of traffic at 11:30 in the morning on a Thursday.
I was on the internet, and I saw this story about a self-proclaimed time traveler who says he. All right, let me just set this up. It's a guy who put a video on YouTube warning people that in the year 2061, Halley's Comet was going to take out the world.
2061.
2061. He says he's a self-proclaimed time traveler who says he traversed the void into the year 2061. Okay, so he didn't live in the future and come back. He just went
to check it out.
Yeah, he was from our time. He went to the future, and then he came back.
Oh,
he claims to have returned to the 2018 to warn the planet of an impending cosmic cataclysm. A bizarre conspiracy theory video uploaded to YouTube purports to contain a warning message from a concerned time traveler who has seen the death and destruction of the planet 43 years from now. Jeff Williams, who appears in the video titled Time Traveler Jeff Williams Goes into the Future, year 2061, claims 2061 is the year a deadly fragment of Halley's Comet will end all life on Earth as we know it. Here's what I want to know.
Okay.
If this guy went forward in time and everything was destroyed, what, he just go back and there was nothing? And then he comes back here? Like, how would he ever, even if that were somehow true, how would he ever know that it was Halley's Comet that did it?
I like to think that he was living in the future for quite some time, and then...
So why didn't he die when Halley's Comet hit?
He came back.
Right before it hit.
Yeah. Obviously.
But it says that he saw the death and destruction 43 years from now.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't believe him.
I think you'd have to be a nut to kind of believe it completely or at all.
I like to give people the benefit of the doubt.
No, I do too, but okay, just looking at this, Halley's Comet will next appear in the night sky in the year 2062, and this guy says he went to 2061, which
that's
I
pretty
mean,
close.
it would make that's silly, that's minor discrepancy, but there's that's like saying that you went and the world had ended. If the world ended, even if, if there was that much, maybe there were people left on Earth.
Yeah.
And he didn't just guess that it was Halley's Comet. He asked people.
Yeah, science probably knew it was coming and all that shit.
Science would have known that it was coming. I think what the idea of this, his video is that it was a fragment of Halley's Comet. So, like, a chunk broke off. And...
So people were prepared, and he survived and came back to warn us.
I think the way this is reading is that he went there, and it was just nothing. It was already dead. It was like everything was dead and destroyed, and then he came back here.
Then yeah,
he probably like unless he went forward in time and like They're just carved on rocks. Like,
Yeah.
Halley's Comet did
Fuck
this.
you, Halley's Comet. Fucking kids graffiti and shit.
Yeah, that's how we do. No specifics, just fuck you, Halley's Comet. Actually, here's what okay. The man in the video says, "Hi, my name is Jeff Williams, and I traveled to the year 2061 and back. In the year 2061, the world no longer exists. I was sent back as part of a top secret group called Celerity in order to ensure that the timeline remains stable." Okay, so
A group called Celerity, huh?
so like he came back here, like maybe you're right, maybe he came back here before the world ended? I don't know. Doesn't really make much sense. We could have watched the video, I suppose.
was sent back as part of a top secret group.
By people in the future, it sounds like, right? Like people in the future sent him back here. But like, I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Because like, if the world no longer exists,
it would make for a great movie.
Nobody would know that the world didn't exist, though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you go back, you can't see that the world doesn't exist. Even if the time travel is real or were real, even if in the future time travel is real, there's no way that you can see the Earth not exist, or you would cease to be yourself. That doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. There's some loopholes.
According to Mr. Williams, the goal of Celerity is to keep other time travelers from messing up the current timeline. Well, that should be the goal of every time traveler. So you keep everybody else. They should, if there is time traveling, they should have a group that just is their goal is just to keep others from fucking shit up on the timeline. Because if I were a time traveler and like I did it enough that like the novelty wore off, like at first, if I were a time traveler at first, I would not want to mess anything up. I'd be so new, and I'd be like, it'd be exciting, and you don't want to screw up the world. And then after like maybe 20 times doing it, you're just like, what can I fuck with? What happens if I crush this butterfly?
Oh boy!
And then the dinosaurs never go extinct.
You wake up with no arms.
You crush it, it puts you to sleep, and you wake up with no arms. That makes sense. The supposed group of time guardians claims to have been covertly influencing Hollywood blockbusters over the decades to spread their message. So the group has been using movies to spread their message of time travel. Well, yeah, we knew that. Have you ever seen Mr. Holland's Opus?
No.
There's a lot of underlying time travel subtext in that.
I really like the idea of time travel.
I like the idea of it. I've read a lot of
doesn't?
interesting stories about it, but not real or possible. He points to a movie called 95ers Echoes. It's a time travel movie that came out a few years ago. And I guess you could really just, like, if he wanted to, he could just point to any time travel movie that's been out. I don't know why you'd use one so obscure.
Right.
I guess I know why. It says that movie is important because I was born in the year 1966, and when I'm 95 years old, if I'm still alive, which I won't be, it will be the year 2061, the year that the world is going to end.
That's the guy there.
That's the guy there. He looks like a Looney Tune, doesn't he? Why is he wearing a prison jumpsuit?
Yeah, he just got an orange shirt.
He looks like he just stabbed a crip.
Orange shirt.
Because of the bandana. Blue bandana.
Yeah, and then the blue bandana with the stars. I don't know. Yeah, he does, I guess, look loony.
The article goes on to say, now, why is the world going to end in 2061 and how? Well, it's the next time that Halley's Comet swings by the planet. Okay. And the scientists will say, oh no, Halley's Comet is going to miss. It's a sure thing. But what they don't know is that this time when Halley's Comet approaches, it's going to split, and one of the very large parts of the comet is going to hit. And I know exactly where it's going to hit, too. And it's going to cause a cataclysmic event that ends the world as we know it on planet Earth. Huh. According to Mr. Williams, a fragment from Halley's Comet will detach in 2061 and strike down in Lake Erie. We used to live so close to there.
We're really close to Lake Michigan right now.
Yeah, we are very close to Lake Michigan. But in Pennsylvania, we lived literally...
Like what?
On Lake Erie.
We lived
straight
on
down
the
to Lake
water.
Erie, one of the 5 Great Lakes of North America. He adds, now the place I went to... Oh, okay. He adds, now the place I went to in 1961 is pure light. It was like going inside a light bulb. That's dumb.
It's like going inside a light bulb.
That's ridiculous. I could not see out, and I could not see much of anything inside the light except for the figure of some beings. But what I did hear was I heard people's voices and them talking to me. When I came back, I had a vivid recollection of that event, as well as being told that there would be clues that I'd be given along my path in life.
Now I believe him.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm with him now.
Yeah, like, I wish I had been interviewing this guy. Like, did you eat something that looked like a postage stamp before this?
A miniature postage.
A miniature postage stamp. As outrageous as the claims in the video may be, there is absolutely no evidence whatsoever to support them as anything more than hogwash conspiracies. Well, yeah, no shit. There is nothing more. Halley's Comet orbits a planet every 76 years, traveling billions of kilometers during its journey through space.
So that means we've lived through one of the Halley's Comets?
No, because... Wait.
I think so.
No, because 2061 is 40... I know it sounds like I'm doing math, but I'm really just looking. I'm looking on here. At 43 years from now.
I don't even
so
want to do it.
43 years, I'm 27. 43, 53, 63, 70. No. Halley's Comet would have passed like 6 years before I was born, I think.
Oh, shit. So
Yeah, because it said, on here it said, I looked it up on the wiki.
Here.
On the Wikipedia.
Here we have it.
Wouldn't it be weird if we had to look all this stuff up in books?
Yeah.
That would be so terrible.
That would take forever. This would be such a long podcast.
Okay, yeah, the years were, oh man, I don't know.
Fuck it. Let's move on to another story.
Oh, okay. This is really interesting, though.
Yeah, it is. I could talk for hours about time travel and
Hell yeah.
comets and space.
All right, I think I have another story here. Hold on. Oh yeah, there's this dude in West Virginia, and he got really drunk.
Nice.
Nice. And he called an Uber. And, you know, like, on an Uber, right, you put your address in the phone, right? You're not telling the guy, you know?
Yeah.
So he put the address in his phone, got in the Uber, and immediately fell asleep. He put in the address of his home, of his, like, where he used to live, his parents' home, in New Jersey, instead of the house that he lived just, like, a short distance away.
Oh, so this motherfucker drove him how far?
300 miles.
Oh, my God.
Drove him from West Virginia to New Jersey. The bill, $1,635.
Dude.
Yeah, this dude...
Oh, my God. I can't believe someone would, you know... I guess you'd have to pay it, right?
You'd absolutely have to pay, because I think it'd just be automatically charged to your card.
Yeah. It's not the driver's fault.
No,
That's
not the driver's fault at all.
Pretty good deal for a driver, I think.
Well, imagine though, like 300 miles. That's not all that far.
No, we drove how many miles to get to Chicago from Pittsburgh?
I don't know, but it was many hundreds. Not many, it was hundreds.
Yeah.
And
I would say like 600.
Yeah, and that, I mean, $1,600 is insane. Here's why the price was so high. Well, first of all, he got in Morgantown, West Virginia, decided to get an Uber from where he was hanging out with his friends to where he was staying near West Virginia University's campus. And once inside the vehicle, he quickly passed out. Woke up 2 hours later. Yeah, because it'd only be 2 hours to drive. It only took him 2 hours.
Yeah, okay.
Woke up 2 hours later to find the driver was instead... No, it wouldn't be 2 hours to drive 300 miles.
Well,
you have to be driving 150 miles an hour.
Unless it took us. Oh,
No. That doesn't... forget that. No. You'd have to be driving 150 miles an hour. He woke up 2 hours later to find the driver was taking him to his home in Gloucester County, New Jersey, more than 300 miles away. And I guess I don't know if it was his... I guess it probably wasn't... It might have been his parents' house. Probably was. If he was going to college, it was probably took him to his parents' house. He could not remember ordering the Uber and could not work out why a random man was driving him. This is why it cost so much. To make matters worse, he had ordered an Uber XL, which can hold up to 6 passengers but costs more than the usual ride. Afterwards, I had it fully sink in. Mr. Bachman told New Jersey Advance. I should hope so. Once the ride ended, I saw how much it was and was like, all right, this is insane. That's just crazy. I was still drunk. It didn't say that. The fare worked out at $1,653.93. A $3.94 base fare, a $2.35 booking fee, $696.95 for distance, and $115.90 for time. The surge pricing then doubled everything but the booking fee, according to NewJersey.com.
Damn.
Obviously, I sent the Uber. I don't know where to. I know I
That's
wouldn't.
why I don't fuck with Uber.
I know I wouldn't send it to my house. I knew where I was, Mr. Bachman said. He accused the Uber driver of using his phone and said he had to get money to repay the driver for the tolls they had gone along the way. Mr. Bachman said he challenged Uber over the fare, saying he had never entered his own home address as the destination. However, he apparently still gave the driver 5 stars. That's so ridiculous. That sucks. Like, that's the worst. There aren't many things that you can fall asleep during and spend that much money on. It's not like if you get on a plane and fall asleep, it's going to take you to London and you're going to spend a ton of money, you know?
Yeah.
That is, like, so rough. That's unbelievably rough. I don't, ever expect to do that in my lifetime, but I could see you doing that in your lifetime.
I've been close to doing shit like that.
Like, you get in and you enter, somehow it gets mixed up and you enter distant Pennsylvania, and an Uber drives you from Chicago to Pennsylvania.
That'd be amazing.
That would not be amazing, though. It would
be amazing, but shitty.
Yeah. I wonder how much that would be. Let me look it up. I wonder if you can Google that shit.
Do you have the Uber app?
No. Well, I do, but I've never used it.
I have it too, but I've used it once. When I was drunk.
Well, that's a good reason to use it. The last 2 times you were drunk, you drove someone else's car home. Tried to get on the train. Tried to drive the train.
Drive on the track.
Drive on the tracks. Okay, I'm not gonna. I don't know, but it would be a lot of money. If it was from West Virginia to there, it was $1,600. Man, you'd be looking at like
$4,000.
At least $4,000. Yeah, that's a lot for a ride.
Yeah.
$4,000. I couldn't even imagine that.
That's how I'm going home.
That's how I'm going to an Uber. Why wouldn't you just you'd be further ahead
Flying.
You'd be further ahead to rent a car and hire a driver on Craigslist.
Yeah, definitely.
Pay the driver $500. I don't know why I would ever do that. I don't know why anybody would ever do that, though, now that we're talking about it.
Yeah, just
It doesn't make any sense,
dude.
yeah. A lot of people have like
Take a Greyhound.
really bad fears of flying. And Greyhounds kind of suck. They're
just-
cheap. Greyhounds are cheap, but they suck.
He just was drunk and wanted to go home.
He just was drunk and wanted to go home. Could you imagine that, though? Imagine going to sleep accidentally in the back of an Uber. Or not, no. You wouldn't remember going to sleep. Imagine being drunk, blacking out, and you wake up and you're in Toledo, Ohio.
Oh, fuck.
And the driver's like, you booked me to take you to New Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, motherfucker.
We're in Toledo, Ohio.
There's no turning back at that point. You gotta just keep going, right?
Yeah, either that or be like, take me back.
I'll just pay you to take me back.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
No, dude. I think if it was gonna be like $4,000, I'd be like, yeah, take me home. I'm fucked. I can't go on.
Like imagine the just initial shock.
Someone's got to take care.
Imagine the initial shock you would feel, and just the idea that like your heart, oh my god, your heart would break over yourself. Like it'd just be like,
this is the end.
This is the end. I'm gonna have to tuck and roll, baby.
Yeah.
That wouldn't even work. It's not a cab where you already got that paid for.
Yeah, tuck and roll. They got your
Credit card and shit. Like you have to cancel your credit cards assume a new identity. I don't know, man. That's insane, though. Wow.
Yeah, that homeless guy sleeping on the train was fucking
Yeah.
half naked. Poor guy.
Poor guy. He was probably having a blast.
Dude, I got off the train, and there was this woman and a kid, and I was like,
You're looking
I was
at
like, don't get in this car.
Did you really?
No, but
Oh, you didn't warn them. You
no, there was a woman and kid, and I was gonna
like,
tell them,
you want to see something
but
cool?
they weren't getting. No, they didn't get on. They weren't getting on that train, but I was gonna tell them not to go on there. There's a guy's dick out.
Maybe you, woman, but
Yeah, that was fun.
yeah, I didn't get to see that.
And then Tuesday night was fun.
What'd you do Tuesday night, Austin?
I drank 2 bottles of wine, made a pizza in the oven. Then I ate a couple of slices and went to Taco Bell at like 1 in the morning. I rode the train south to Addison, and then, I walked right past Wrigley Field. There was no one at the train station when I was going there. No one on the sidewalk on the way to Taco Bell. There was like 3 people in Taco Bell. One guy, he had a pool cue over his back, and I was like, "Hey man, you play pool?" This was after I ordered $15 worth of soft tacos. And then talked to that guy a little bit. No, actually, that's all I said. I said, "You play pool?" He said, "Yeah," and I said, "Cool." And I got my tacos. I ate 3 of them on the walk to the train. Well, actually, I probably ate 2 on the walk, and then 1 on the station. Then I was lighting a cigarette on the platform at Addison, and this guy came out of nowhere. There was no one else up there. And I was lighting a cigarette, and I hear this voice. He's like, "Hey, can I get a cigarette?" I was like, "Yeah." And I gave him a cigarette. Then he reaches into his backpack that's on the ground, and he pulls out this bottle of vodka. And I was like, "All right." And it was unopened, too, so he handed it to me, and I gave him a lighter. He was lighting a cigarette, and I took 3 big gulps of this vodka, and it was super smooth. I usually hate vodka. Like, it makes me sick, but it was good.
It was smooth.
Yeah, it was smooth, and he broke the cigarette trying to light it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I gave him another one, and then I gave him a taco. And,
which is really nice. Like that's very cool.
yeah,
because...
and he put it in his bag, and he's like, "You want to hit that again?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I took like 3 more as big a gulps as I could get, and I think I drank it down to the label of the unopened bottle.
Wow.
And I gave him another taco.
Nice.
And I got on the northbound train, and he said he was going south. His name was LB.
That's cool that you gave him a taco, though. I have known you for 9 years and have never once gotten a taco. I just want to point that out.
I share other things with you.
Like your stories about...
You keep saying how you don't want to eat Taco Bell.
Yeah, but I love it. It's delicious. It's just because it's not great for you. So that's that time, though. When did you see the naked guy on the train?
That was the day that Jeff was on his way here.
Okay, so that was like... Hey!
Blowing out your ass, buddy.
So you got on the train that day? Or that night or something?
Yeah, I was at the school. I think I had a meeting with Lynn.
Oh, okay. So you stayed late. I had already come back here, and you got on the train, and there's this homeless guy, and he has no clothes on?
No, he's clothed. He had pants and, layers on his torso and shit. He just had his pants around his knees.
No underwear?
No, I don't think so,
Oh,
unless
boy.
they were, in his pants. It was all down.
Now, how do they not haul a guy off to jail for that?
I don't know.
Maybe nobody. I guess
No one
maybe
complained.
nobody. Yeah, nobody reports that. I guess I don't know.
There's a couple people I saw made faces, like disgusted faces, but I didn't say anything.
And you were there like making a.
Just lifting up his shirt, trying to catch a peek.
Your inner narrator's like, the first train I stepped on in the big city, and this is what I see.
I like it here.
I think I'll call it home. Remember in like 11th grade? No, you wouldn't have been in 11th grade. But I remember like in high school, I was like, I just saw Haley's coming to
Dude, that song was playing in my head.
You always running in place.
Yeah.
That's because the radio. Because of the radio, you can't talk about Haley's Comet without that song not being able to leave your head. It hasn't left my head since we started talking about that shit.
Well, it had left mine.
God. And then there's this fantastic story of this guy that smuggled cocaine in the fake butt. And that's just a fantastic story, all in all. The butt can be a smuggler's best friend. It's been used to sneak hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of gold out of a mint and slip a cell phone into a prison cell.
This is funny because, like, I read the headline of this and fucking wrote a little sketch about it.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't even read the article.
I think it's it's very funny. A smuggler tried to slip a kilo of cocaine on a flight from Brazil to Portugal by wearing a fake butt full of blow. IB Times reports. Unfortunately, his plan to pad his posterior with powder like a drug's... Boy, they're all about the... alliteration. His plan to pad his posterior with powder like a drug smuggling Hank Hill didn't go well. Why drug smuggling Hank Hill? Why Hank Hill? Did he do that? Did Hank Hill stuff his fake booty full of cocaine in the show?
He must have been a propane man.
Huh. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't remember Hank ever putting shit up in that.
So... Police spotted the 32-year-old man as he waddled, suspiciously around Lisbon's airport and stopped him for questioning. When they got a closer look at his tuchus, they realized he was packing more than just a big booty.
So wait, it was actually on him?
Yeah.
It wasn't in a bag.
It wasn't in a bag. He had two. They look like little whoopee cushions. They look like flesh-colored whoopee cushions, and they're kind of in the shape of butt cheeks, although not really. But he allegedly stashed the coke in two flesh-colored cheeks that he'd rigged inside a tiny, colorful sun swimsuit. So he had the swimsuit on him with those underneath, because with a swimsuit, it's kind of like a Speedo, this style swimsuit.
Yeah.
So, like, it's very snug, and it would keep the whoopee cushions, the butt implants, it would keep them in there. Not implants, because they're not in your body, but they would keep them in there very well.
Dude, that's actually,
Apparently not a good idea because...
He got busted, right?
He got busted. They saw him just by the way they got him by the way he was walking. I mean, he'd be further ahead just to strap it to your thighs.
Yeah.
The cops also arrested a 40-year-old man who they... Not that I condone drug smuggling.
No.
The cops also arrested a 40-year-old man who they suspect was waiting to pick up the phony glutes at a nearby train station. They must have looked through his phone and found text to the guy or something.
Neighbors
It's unclear whether the second man was planning to slip into the coke booty shorts too. The butt rig is just the latest unsuccessful invention traffickers have tried to use to smuggle drugs. Cops have found smack in limes, pineapple, and even novelty dick candles. Not to mention those modern-day Da Vinci's who have built weed bazookas or drug catapults to launch dope over the U.S.-Mexico border. That's great.
Dude, that is fucking epic.
Yeah, all in all, you have to give the butt smuggler some credit. He may not have succeeded in his mission, but a kilo of coke is far from the worst thing people have used to boost out their behinds. Now that's from Vice. That's the story was as told by Vice.
It's 2018. Like, if people want to wear like fake ass implants that they just put in their shorts,
yeah.
Who are you to judge and squeeze those fake cheeks?
I don't think they went up and squeezed them. I think that they
patting them down though.
I bet he looked suspicious. I bet he looked like he was maybe had fake. I bet he was walking around like he had cocaine in his fake butt. Where he went wrong was he went up to a cop and said, "I'm smuggling cocaine." Ha 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 ha. But He did apparently go to jail. This has been fun. I'm Andrew.
I'm Austin.
This is the Brothers Grin podcast.